I'm going to show you why being a working homeschool mom is not only possible, but powerful. Because I myself am a working homeschool mom of two, and I've homeschooled both as an employee and as an entrepreneur. And I've chosen homeschooling on purpose. Not because it's easier, because spoiler alert, none of us moms have it easy. But I do it because it gives my kids opportunities that traditional school never could. So if you're a working mom who's been thinking about homeschooling and you've been wondering if combining these two things is even a realistic possibility, then this video is for you. Let me help you reframe what's actually possible for your family. And if we haven't met yet, I'm Elan. I'm a working homeschool mom of two who's helped other working moms just like us homeschool with confidence, flexibility, and freedom. And let's start here because this really matters. As moms, we're accustomed to feeling tired and stretched thin as we juggle our families and our careers. But adding homeschooling on top of those things isn't meant to lead to burnout. In fact, it should actually relieve some of the pressures that we face when our kids are in traditional schools. Because think about it. Traditional school schedules are rigid. They control when your days begin and when they end. They control the days off. They control when your family can take vacation. And then a lot of times you have to add into that heavy workloads of endless homework for the kids and projects and on and on. And so what it really boils down to is the fact that traditional school was never really designed to coexist with your family's real life schedule. There were lots of times when I would be rushing, leaving from work to get my kids from school to then an after school activity or something with very, very little time in between. But when you enter the world of homeschooling, you'll find that it really gives you the freedom and the flexibility to wrap school around your real lives, not the other way around. And here's the part that people don't talk about enough. As a working mom, homeschooling isn't an extra burden for me. I chose it because it expands my kids' education. Homeschooling lets me give my kids a tailored, well-rounded education, one that honors who they are and how they learn and the world that they're growing up in. And that's because I get to customize it according to them. And I get to give them the best experiences that I can. So that means hands-on learning, worldwide cultural experiences, and regular field trips that connect their learning in very, very meaningful ways. So does it require me to have to be intentional with our time and with our academics? Yes, absolutely. But is it also worth all the time and attention that I pour into my kids through homeschooling? Yes, it is. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest reasons that I love being a working homeschool mom is exposure. My kids get a front row seat into my work, and I get to incorporate them into a lot of the things that they likely wouldn't have access to if they were in traditional school. Because they get to see how my ideas turn into action through creativity, through collaboration, and through problem solving. And they get to see how my work makes an impact. And this is the kind of exposure that builds confidence. It builds curiosity and independence for the kids. And it's something that oftentimes traditional schools just can't make the space for in a really hands-on, tangible type of way. And so here's the thing. Once you start believing that being a working homeschool mom can and will work, the very next thing you're going to want to do is get yourself some clarity. Not clarity around your schedule, not clarity around curriculum for the kids. You actually need to make one foundational decision that shapes everything else. And that is exactly what I'm walking you through in the next video. I'll see you over there.